Peace and greetings. Divine Zill here, out in nature. Hope you're getting used to this. A lot of YouTube vloggers, stomping around the concrete jungle. Are trapped in little boxes. But as much as I can, I try and be out with Mother. Today I wanted to just touch briefly on what I just keep bumping into. It's very common on spiritual paths to let go of ego, let go of self. I do acknowledge myself as Divine Zeal, but it's truly just a label. And I think the main aspect of letting go is just to not have that attachment, that emotional attachment, because that's where conflict comes whenever you don't get things how you like them or how you want them to be, instead of just seeing them as they are. So I want to discuss the perils of pride. People who are so far invested in their ego, people who are so attached that they definitely do not want to let go. Pride and principles seem to have really shaped this human reality, but also create so much conflict, and I believe really withholds us from being what we truly could be. I know it's very easy to be caught up in pride, especially in my past. I definitely was a very prideful individual, especially with culture and nationalism and, this struggle we all seem to be in to just hold on to who we are, as an individual, as a group of people. But these are all symptoms of just self-centered, egotistical, selfish ways of thinking, when we should be selfless and humble and very minimalistic with our thinking in terms of ourselves. Like the perils of pride can really take over you. Instead of just letting go of something that makes you mad or something you feel entitled to. Like so many people feel entitled to money and love and, relationships and families and all these different type of material, when there is no sense of entitlement. There is no attachment to any of that, truly. You can either have it or you don't need to have it. Regardless, it will always exist without your interaction. And I feel like people could simply just let go and, be used by the universe however they need to be, but there's this sense of pride and self-entitlement and these non-existent principles that just keep people wanting more and more and really just trying to take up as much as they can. And when you start to let go, when you start to really embrace the egoless state of mind, you truly have to use way less energy just to get through this reality. Things are as they are. There might be some frustrations or anger, but you instantly just let go of them. And I feel like that's where it comes down to. Like pride usually is a positive thing. Like I'm such a great father. And I would never let anything get in the way of that. And it's just like sometimes pride seems like a positive thing. But instead of just thinking and embracing and being so self-gratifying and self-entitled of being a great father, just let it be as it is, because maybe one day your children will have a disagreement with you, will be extremely angry or negative towards you, And you might take it upon yourself, as being a bad father, when it's just, you're just a father, you're just a human, you're just a person. There's all this classification and labeling and all this analysis of this human reality, and all this stuff brings shame and guilt and fear and all this other negative stuff. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can just be as you need to be. And I know it sounds a lot easier said than done, but it should be hard. You should feel challenged to truly let go of pride, of ego, of all these human creations, that truly mutates our natural form. So many humans have done amazing things for us to be here, and we don't even know their names. We don't even have much history of such individuals that have made it possible. Especially of our ancestors. But it is as it is. And it's crazy to even have any pride or any sort of ego now, because we really are doing a small fraction of what people have done in the past. And it's like we're building pride and ego off of nothing. Like, you think you're the greatest of this, but there's been a million people who've already done that, and I think that's a little issue with humans. We just always act like, we're the first people to do something or think something or feel something. How many people have felt what you felt, and this is just to really just neutralize and bring you back down to a humble place on this planet. And from there, you can make proactive moves and proactive steps. I feel like acting without pride and ego allows you to progress through this reality a lot easier, because you're not walking around with all these expectations, which really weigh us down. Like, pride seems to be such a good thing until your crap hits the fan, and then you have to sit back and really reanalyze, what was really going on, and I feel like this letting go, this egoless, this selfless, anti-self-gratifying lifestyle, it opens you up to just boundarylessness realities. There is no more ceiling, like good or bad, pass or fail, like you just are going through the reality as you need to go. And I feel like it's almost like with nature, there's a little you can do with nature. You can excavate, you can prune, you can replant things how you want them to be. But at the end of the day, nature is just going to do its own course. If the soil is clay and hard, it's going to grow half as big, or spread twice as much. There's no boundaries to nature. If it dies, it dies, and a million new things grow. And if you thought something was dead, then under the ground there's billions of microbes going on, and they all matter and they're all important, so there really is no dead end. With pride, with principles, there's this structure, there's this man-made system, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, there's a million different ways to really confine and imprison a human's mind, and pride, principles, nationalism, even culture in general, because there's a universal culture, there's like a divine culture, but then when we get on this planet, the sense of, culture and society really has mutated into something extremely negative and separatist and discriminatory, so we're trying to break through those boundaries. We're trying to expand our minds in a free, selfless, unlimited, infinite way. And once you do that, you'll break down all the perils of pride. So yeah, just some thoughts. There's Because every day, that's just what haunts me, I feel like. Just other people's pride and principle. I just heard and listened to my friend just complaining. I openly listened to him with open heart, but he was just complaining for like 10 minutes over like 80 cents that he thought was wrongfully taken from him. And I was just trying to tell him, just let it go. Just like some things like that happen. But if you're a good person and you wouldn't, steal even 80 cents from someone, then just let it go, But it's like with pride, you can take, a tiny negative thing and just blow it up into an extremely big negative bubble. And now we're talking about a whole bunch of other negative energy, which could have just been let go. So I hope you enjoy this. Really just building on to different topics to really combine them into more deeper topics. But, once we get things like ego, pride, principles, self-gratitude, all these other, negative human concepts, we can then go on to deeper things. Because there's no time for ego and pride and all this negative, low vibration human jargon once we get into deeper stuff. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this here with the flowers and the bees and everything else. 6 acres. Peace and love. Let's manifest positivity this year. Divine Deal signing out. Oh.